game.
And now on the flip side for Pitt, they've got their head coach back, Randy Waldrum, who's the head coach of the Nigerian national team. Randy missed the matchup at North Carolina. His son, Ben, the associate head coach, serving as the head coach there. But Randy's back, done a great job with this Pitt program. What a remarkable turnaround for the Panthers in just his 5th season up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm sure Pitt is excited to have Randy back in time for the game today. Yeah. We'll see if his jet lag snoozing on the bench over there.
Yeah, tied the school record for single season wins in 2021. They've got 11 victories already this season. He's in his 29th year overall as a head coach. And you look at the Pitt lineup, this is a team that's really had to reinvent themselves a couple of different times this season because of some devastating injuries, but the Panthers just keep on going with this lineup today.
Yeah, 2 big injuries for Pitt coming early on in the season. I think they've seen a lot of people step up, and we'll be excited to see if those people continue to step up today.
Yeah, one of the big injuries for Pitt this year was Amanda West, who's one of the all-time leading goal scorers for the Panthers. She was 3rd in the ACC with 5 game-winning goals and scored 10 goals for Pitt last year. She's not in there at all for the Panthers, and so Pitt, who again has had to reinvent themselves a little bit, the Panthers coming off their first ACC loss of the season at North Carolina on Thursday. First time they were shut out all year long as well. So Pitt trying to get back to some of the things that they have done really well over the first 12 matches or so of the season.
Yeah, and no doubt losing their key goal scorer, they've had to have more people step up. They actually have 13 goal scorers on the season.
And the loss to North Carolina snapped their 5-game winning streak, but a team that is currently on a high, number 2 in the RPI, and Robbie Church, the Duke head coach, talked about how important this matchup was as you start to look big picture. And both coaches that we talked to before the match really talked about now we're into the final phase of the ACC regular season as the offside flag up there. And now both teams not just playing for their spot in the ACC tournament, but their spot in the NCAA tournament as well. And both coaches knowing how crucial these matches are if you want to host a 2nd or 3rd round game in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, well, anyone who's been paying attention to the ACC women's soccer standings this year knows this is a big match. It's been insanely tight. Several top 25 ranked teams in the ACC this year. It's no joke of a conference, as Ben Waldrum mentioned yesterday when we spoke with him.
Cat Raider trying to sneak free there, and a foul against Michelle Cooper.
Hey, let's go, come on, come on.
Talks about Duke needing to, and has been striking early. The Blue Devils have come out on fire. They've scored 10 of their 13 goals at home in their 7 home matches. And we saw the Blue Devils the other night get going early. A couple of goals in the opening 15 minutes by Cat Raider. And obviously now, as someone who had a lot of success during your college career, Cat Raider for Duke, the rookie, now being marked, I imagine, a little more on the scouting report than maybe what she was 3 or 4 matches ago.
Yeah, well, Raider's been so fun to watch this season. I think between Cooper, Raider, and Pluck up there, Pitt backline's got their hands full. Those are all 3 dynamic and creative attackers. You mark one of them, you leave 2 free, probably going to find the ball in the back of the net.
So how does Pitt combat that, knowing that Duke has that dynamic attack, and obviously there's Cooper who's causing a little bit of a ruckus there, but how does Pitt combat what Duke wants to do, especially offensively?
Yeah, I think I'll be curious to see in this first part of the first half here if Pitt decides to go press high or if they're going to kind of stay back like Wake Forest did and stay extremely compact. Duke likes to play through lines. They like to play with the ball. But obviously Cooper offers a lot of speed up there, so they've got to be careful to not leave too much in behind.
On the flip side for Duke, especially as you look at the Blue Devils defensively, you can't so much key on one particular player for Pitt because they have been so dynamic in terms of scoring goals. We talked about Pace, who's their leading goal scorer with 7 this year, coming off the bench, that super sub. How does Duke handle this matchup defensively today?
Yeah, I think they're going to need to key in on transition. As Duke's going to have longer established possessions, they got to make sure the Royson sisters in the back there stay switched on and focused. Mertz offers a lot of pace up front, and Pitt likes to expose teams on the transition, so that'll be key for today.
Lanzarini there for Pitt to gobble that one up. We played a nice season for Pitt as their starting goalkeeper. Had 10 saves in the shutout of Gonzaga on the opening night. 19 career victories, that's tied for most in Pitt history. And now on the flip side, Duke's got a pretty sensational keeper as well, and Ruthie Jones. Big day already in the Jones family as her brother Daniel and the Giants with the big win over the Packers earlier today in London. So the Jones family hoping for a 2-0 day on this Sunday. Pitt sneaking free, and that one filleted ahead as Anna Bout got a flick on it, trying to get it to Shapansky.
Yeah, it was a good run by Bout, finding the disorganization in the Duke back line there.
That was one of the ways that Wake Forest was able to score against Duke the other night, a little disorganization for Duke, and it led to the goal for Wake Forest that made the game perhaps a little tighter than Robbie Church and his group would have liked. There's a foul against Pitt, and Duke gets the possession right back. Sophie Jones will put it in play. Today is her 65th straight start in a Duke uniform, 5th all time in Duke history.
Yeah, and I think Sophie Jones in that middle there offers a lot of experience. She's one of 3 captains in the trio: Ruthie Jones, Sophie Jones, and Emmy Dorr.
It's such a luxury for Robbie Church and the rest of his staff to have somebody who Robbie called as the connector for Duke, and Sophie Jones, and a lot of the intangible things that maybe people take for granted that Sophie is just so adept at doing.
Aside from being brilliant on the ball, Sophie Jones is also an incredible teammate. I think everyone on the team would say that.
Graham plays it ahead.
Good combo play by Duke there.
Duke unable to really get forward. One of the things that Robbie Church really liked in that match against Wake Forest is just how Duke was able to have more of the possession. Now, these are 2 teams today that both coaches really talked about the importance of having possession, and for Pitt, they've got to be okay with maybe not having as much possession today as they normally like to have.
Yeah, and that's something Ben mentioned when we spoke to him. I think Pitt's going to surrender a little bit of that possession to Duke, and it already looks like Pitt's going to be dropping off them a bit, letting the Duke backline knock it around. We'll see how Duke reacts, if they can find the balls over the top or start to break down through the middle.
Settled here nicely. Looking to make a run into the box, played through. Settled here by Bout. Bout has a shot knocked down, and another chance, and that one goes wide, and Pitt will get their first opportunity on a set piece. And the Panthers so far this year, Tess, have been really dangerous on these set piece opportunities.
Yeah, this is a key game on set pieces here. I think we spoke about it earlier. We'll look at the replay here. I think that was a great job by Bout to stay with it and get the second shot off.
You see the deflection there, and Jones lets that one go wide. Shapansky, who leads the team with 6 assists, has the service. And Jones bats that one away. Shapansky tries to play it, and a nice job by Duke just to get it out of harm's way for the moment. And a nice clear.
2 big plays there by Migley to get the ball out. Robbie mentioned beforehand of this game that set pieces are going to be key. Pitt scored several goals this year on it.
That was their 81st corner kick of the season a moment ago.
Wow.
Impressive numbers. Settled. This way it comes, looking for Shapansky. Perhaps looking for an angle into the box. And that one ferried high. Again, nice defense there by the Blue Devils with Graham in the neighborhood defending on the Pitt sophomore.
Yeah, Shapansky with some nice footwork there. And a way to get the cross off. Obviously, you want that to stay in bounds, though.
So some momentum perhaps building for Pitt. We haven't seen Duke really able to muster much offense in the first 8 or 9 minutes of this match. Is that a credit to just Pitt and executing their game plan and what they wanted to do coming in?
Yeah, I think a credit to Pitt, but I think also the Duke side's looking a little sleepy, maybe a little heavy legs from obviously tight game that they had. I think Pitt, obviously, 4-0 loss is tough, but it allowed them to get a lot more subs in.
Yeah, I'm curious about that from a playing standpoint. What's it like to play 3 matches in a week and play 3 really high-level matches in a week at that?
Yeah, I mean, Duke's side, it was UVA and Wake Forest, who are both obviously tough opponents. I think, Robbie Church spoke about getting the girls some cryotherapy. I think there have been a lot of high-minute players on this team, and just learning how to utilize recovery tools. We'll see how the game shakes out here, if Duke's able to get some of their bench in and get some fresh legs.
With the cryotherapy that Duke has been using the last couple of years, how does that help the recovery for a player standpoint?
Yeah, I'm a big cryotherapy fan. I'm not sure how many people out here have tried it. It's 3 minutes of about freezing cold and terrible. But then the rest of the day, your legs feel golden. So I'm a big fan. I actually got my dad one for his birthday recently.
You should be the spokesperson for the cryotherapy.
Yeah, this is not an ad.
And Robbie Church did mention some of the players that played maybe more minutes than what they had hoped for against Wake Forest on Thursday. Did take advantage of some of the recovery tools. Some of the players that maybe didn't get as many minutes, had a little extra training session ahead of this matchup against Pitt. And the Panthers playing just their second matchup of the week. They played North Carolina on Thursday. And back at it here this afternoon. Cat Rader through some traffic, plays one ahead for Cooper. And nobody able to shake free, and now Pitt with the opportunity. A good step through that time by Duke and Groff.
I love Rader's ability to come inside and combine with Cooper. I think they work really well together.
That'll be a fun combination to watch here in Durham for the next several years, with Rader just the rookie and Michelle Cooper in her sophomore season. Rader coming back to that one.
Come on, press.
And it comes to Shapansky.
Good.
It's sort of been the engine for Pitt this afternoon. Cooper deflects that one in the possession, staying with the Panthers.
That's better. Come on, Maggie. Come on, jump in here. Here we go. Delaney, well done.
Emily Royson down the middle there for the Blue Devils. Robbie Church talked about what a great year Emily Royson has had for Duke this season.
Yeah, both the Royson sisters have been great together, honestly. Jenna Royson, who's just on the ball there, transferred from Georgetown. Both New Jersey girls.
Had a great career, Jenna did at Georgetown. 59 matches, 45 starts, two-time second-team All-Big East selection.
Yeah, and both of them offer a lot of pace back there. Definitely a difficult team to play in behind with those two there.
Keep it here. Good, Jenna, good.
That one over the touchline. Pitt gets it back. A game that's sort of slowed a little bit here in the first half. Neither side really dominating yet. Pitt did have that opportunity on the corner, but was unable to take advantage. Dangerous play there. Good header by Cofield.
I think Duke's struggling here to figure out how to play through this low block that Pitt's offering. See, they're floating one of their sixes, Katie Groff, kind of wide into the back line there to allow Migley and Delaney Graham to get up higher.
And Migley's been really impactful for Duke as of late. They try to play that one ahead to Cooper. Migley, an assist in 3 of the last 4 matches for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Migley's awesome from the flank there. I think her ability to whip crosses in, but also get shots on her own. I think she's definitely a contender for someone who could get a goal today.
Could some of the struggles that Duke's having, maybe figuring out this Pitt attack, could it go back to maybe having some of those tired legs, playing your third match already? As that one flicked ahead and getting a boot on it that time was plucked, but it goes right to the keeper who ushers it aside.
Yeah, it was a great ball in behind there, and I like Pluck's idea to try to find Rader on that back post run. Just the execution wasn't there.
Possession back to Duke. Royson building it for Duke. This is a Pitt team that's off to the best start in program history. Their next victory will set a new school record for single season wins for the second consecutive season. They've also set a school record for points in a campaign, 117 points. And the turnaround for Pitt has been remarkable. You look at the first couple years for this coaching staff, Pitt was 9-22-4, but have gone 33-16 over the last 2+ seasons. And it's just been a remarkable culture shift for this Pitt program.
Yeah, it's been an incredible season for Waldrum here. I think it's been several years in the making, though. You know, the last couple years, I think Pitt has really improved upon their record with each year. You know, Robbie spoke about the last 2 years. Pitt's really been climbing in the ACC. But a historic season for them, no doubt. They're number 2 right now, actually, in the RPI. Number 13 in the United Coaches Poll.
We'll talk more about the turnaround for Pitt coming up at halftime, but no easy, we were talking this before we came on the air today, no easy matches now in the ACC. Like, you know, and both coaches talked about this, especially down the stretch. You're going to get everybody's best shot with that number next to your name. It brings a little more weight, a little more attention, and a little bigger target on the back for these two coaches.
Oh yeah, no easy games in the ACC. And I think obviously, yeah, your point, both of them are ranked. So even the few unranked teams in the ACC are going to be coming for that number. It's next to your name.
Especially with both these teams being so high in the RPI. Duke a top 10 RPI club. Pitt, as we mentioned, number 2 in the RPI. A chance for teams to come in and when they play Duke or Pittsburgh and get the signature victory, as maybe they try to pad their NCAA resume with just a couple weeks left in the regular season.
Now, what's the reason for the different colored jersey? Just for the referee?
Throw in deep here for Pitt. Panthers had the corner earlier this half. A couple of shots for the Panthers, none on goal just yet.
Yeah, this game so far has really been just played in the middle of the field. I think both teams are probably a bit of heavy legs in the Sunday afternoon heat here.
Into the box. And another corner for Pitt. And again, it's Shapansky who comes over to take the set piece. And Jones will have to be vigilant here for Duke.
Yeah, Pitt really likes to take their in-swingers on the corners here. We see Shapansky out there with the left foot.
Nobody home for Pitt. And Duke able to get it out of danger. Rader had it bounce away. But a nice play by Royson to flare it ahead. Plug trying to track it down, but unable to get there. It's almost a brilliant opportunity for Duke there in transition. One of the keys that you had coming in to the matchup today.
Yeah, it was well defended by Jenna Royson, and to ship it forward for Pluck also. Pluck offers a lot of speed up there along with Cooper. Both can find some space in behind.
Certainly feels like Duke now maybe with a little bit of momentum. Back for Cooper. Draws a crowd, tries to play one in for Rader.
Good feet there by Rader to keep possession of the ball.
Now Sophie Jones all the way back out. Duke wants to build here with Emily Royson.
Yeah, and you can just see how low that Pitt block is right now. I think Duke wants to try to pull them up a bit, open up spaces in between the lines.
Looking for an angle, a save made.
Great save there by Lazzarini.
Lazzarini, who has been phenomenal for Pitt this year. A 1.07 goal against average comes up big for the Panthers on Duke's first opportunity.
Yeah, and don't be fooled by last Thursday's 4-0 result. Lazzarini was fantastic, had many saves on the night, and the ones that did find the back of the net were just brilliant by Chapel Hill.
She has 6 clean sheets already this season.
It's impressive. Delaney Graham down here. They'll kick the ball out.
There's Graham being tended to, the graduate student, making her 93rd career start. She set the school record against Wake Forest with her 92nd career start. She enters play today, Tess, having played over 7,800 career minutes. That's second in Duke career history. She trails Tara Campbell, who played here from 2009 to 2012. Campbell played in over 8,000 career minutes, and it looks like maybe just a cramp. You hope that's all it is. And again, the heavy legs, 3 matches in a week, and Delaney Graham is counted on to play so many impactful minutes for Robbie Church's team.
Yeah, Delaney Graham is obviously a crucial player here for the Duke side. Robbie mentioned, as I spoke to him earlier, she's really improved every single year, and this year is her best year so far, which is all you can ask for as a coach. She's obviously one of 2 grad students on the team this year. 3. Jenna Royson and Mackenzie Pluck.
And getting some attention here.
Duke has a couple high-level outside backs on the bench, so I don't think it'll be too worrisome if they need to make a shift here. Obviously, we hope Delaney Graham can get up and play the rest of the match, though.
Has had some big moments in her Duke career. Singing the national anthem here the other night against Wake Forest. 3rd team All-ACC selection in that 2021 season. A lot of great scorers out here today. As you look at the ACC scores, you see Paris, who we have not, or Pace, who we have not seen yet for Pitt today, but Rader and Cooper, the 2 highlighted there. Look at that, the only underclassmen that are on the list. Shows you how bright the future is for this Duke program. Not that it hadn't been bright before, but man, you look at what Cooper and Rader can do together over the next couple seasons.
Yeah, and what's most impressive, I think, about Cooper up there, she's got 9 goals, but she's also got several assists on the season. I want to say 3 in ACC play, I believe. So I think she's got that ability to score, but you put too much pressure on her and she'll slip it in for Kat.
5 assists on the season for Cooper. And good to see Delaney Graham up and staying out there for Duke. Appeared to be just a cramping issue. So you hope that she is okay. Nearly 20 minutes into this opening half, and a couple of half opportunities here, but nothing really coming to fruition for either side. We talked about Pitt, though, and the way the Panthers have really had to reinvent themselves on the fly this year. Amanda West, one of their prolific goal scorers, not just this season, but in Pitt history, went down with an injury prior to the season. They had another captain go down early in the season as well, and then lost another player to an injury at North Carolina on Thursday. It's been so remarkable that Pitt's just been able to continue to win at such a high level. 11 victories for the Panthers already this season, and it just seems like they've battled through so much adversity, still with 4 games left to go in the regular season.
Yeah, injuries no doubt have been hitting Pitt's lineup a lot. I think on the Duke side, it looks like we've got Bailey Brewster out today. Not too sure how long that will be. Obviously knock wood for the Blue Devils, but they've remained fairly healthy. They've had a few players sit out here and there, but no season-ending injuries.
Well, the 13th match of the year for Duke and the 14th for Pitt. You're going to have some bumps and bruises through the rigors of the ACC schedule.
Yeah, no doubt, especially with so many games in such a short amount of time.
See the Blue Devils on the road, a big matchup with the ACC leader on Thursday, taking on Florida State in Tallahassee. That one's available on the ACC network. Pitt will continue this road trip. They'll be at Boston College on Saturday, a matchup you can see on ACC Network Extra. The Eagles trying to notch a signature win would be a great opportunity to take down Pitt at home. Cooper shakes free, plays one ahead, and another save. And Lanzarini stopping the Blue Devils for a second time this half.
That's a big-time save. Brilliant ball by Cooper to Puck there.
Another look.
And that finish, it's tougher than it looks.
And the headsy play by Lanzarini just to gobble it up and not allow Duke another opportunity. And Lanzarini, one of those players, like you see a lot of times in this game where you maybe during your first couple years you bide your time, and then when it's your time to step up, she's done so. Played in just 6 games with 3 starts a season ago. Jones off her line to play that one. 10 games with 7 starts a couple years ago. Only played in 4 games as a rookie and has been counted on this year to be the goal stopper for Pitt and has done a phenomenal job of that.
Yeah, 2 senior keepers in goal today with Ruthie Jones and Lazzarini.
Rader. And the possession for Pitt.
Pitt's done a wonderful job so far staying organized and compact. Ben Waldron spoke about their ability to collectively and individually defend really was let down in the UNC game, and it's going to be a focus for the Duke Blue Devils.
Certainly feels like they've been defending at a pretty high level in the first couple minutes. Blue Devil was down as Cooper plays it ahead. She's got Rader on a run as well. Cooper trying to play one in for Rader and a little bit behind the Duke freshman.
Yeah, good decision by the referee to let that play out. Sophie Jones got pretty knocked there. We'll see if he comes back and gives the Pitt player a warning.
Yeah, the advantage was called there for Duke. Played through the middle now, looking for Rader at the top of the 18. Good play by Migley. Pitt, though, keeps the possession. I feel like Duke's started to maybe get some momentum and starting to figure some things out now as we're over 20 minutes into this first half.
Yeah, they definitely are having a bit more of established possession, finding success in between the lines and also in behind.
Now that Duke is maybe having a little more success, is there anything Pitt can do to counterbalance that as we start to inch toward halftime?
Yeah, I'd like to see Pitt, I think, press a little bit more here now that Duke's back line is probably getting comfortable with having so much time and space. I think jumping out and catching them off guard might be successful.
The Panthers just trying to get it to the break. You see their numbers in the second half. They have been phenomenal. So it's really 2 different styles here. Duke has been so good in the first half, and it's been the Panthers who have been dominant in the final 45 minutes.
Yeah, the Panthers did a great job holding Duke outside that first 10 minutes there, like we spoke about. We'll see if Duke makes any adjustments at halftime. Obviously, we've still got 20 minutes left here. I'm sure we'll start to see some subs coming in.
It looks like Duke is ready to bring a couple of subs in. A Panther down. I believe that's Shapansky that went down for the Panthers. No foul called. We play on.
Yeah, and Paloma taking that space as her teammate falls down.
Caulfield plays it out to the middle, and now the Panthers having to regroup. Flicked ahead, but Royce in there. Plays it for Groff. Cooper back, trying to just keep everyone honest.
Good doubling down by Katie Groff there.
Obviously with Duke now perhaps being more comfortable, especially having a little more space, being more comfortable having the space, what's the next step for Duke to take in this match offensively to try to find a goal and beat Lazzarini?
Yeah, I'd like to see them get some shots off. I think they've been in and around the box and maybe a bit too unselfish between Rader, Pluck, and Cooper. They obviously all love combining with each other. I'd like to see them get some shots off, though.
It's one of the things Robbie Church said. I thought it was so interesting. He said, we need to get Michelle Cooper going. And yeah, interesting to hear the head coach say that about a player who's got 9 goals and 23 points this season. But Cooper has drawn most of the attention. She's the one that's at the top of everybody's scouting report, and obviously anyone who follows this game knows how dynamic Michelle Cooper is. So for Cooper, who now has garnered all that attention, Tess, how does she start to get going in Robbie Church's summation? First to play here for Cooper. She's got Rader on a run. It's Kat Rader trying to score again, and another great play by Pitt's defense.
And that's exactly what I think makes Cooper so special, her ability to just play a ball in behind there. She's in the box. So many forwards would choose to strike that themselves, but she recognizes that Rader has a better angle. Wonderful run by Rader, and obviously another great save by Lazzarini.
A couple of defenders are down as well for Pitt. Let's take another glance as it's Palomo who's slow to get up. It was really a trio of Panthers here combining to help make this stop.
Yeah, and look at that. Lazzarini actually didn't even have to get a touch on it.
I think it's Palomo that got in there, yeah.
Palomo with the slide tackle to save the day there.
The senior from Irving, Texas, who actually played for Pitt associate head coach Ben Waldron for the U.S. Development Academy U19 team. So she very familiar with this coaching staff before even arriving to the Steel City. See some subs coming in for Duke. And for Pitt, Pace has now come in.
Yeah, we've got the super sub on the field now for the Pitt Panthers.
Pace, who we highlighted at the top of the broadcast, the team leader with 7 goals, also leads the club with 18 points this season. Foul in the middle there against Duke.
I think Caulfield for Pitt's doing a great job winning those second balls. Pitt's putting in long balls that the Duke backline's dealing with, and Caulfield's sweeping all of them up.
Caulfield might be the most underrated player on this Pitt club today. She's played some impactful minutes for the Panthers, 3 goals, 3 assists already on the campaign.
Yeah, which coming from the 6th position, that's a lot of attacking presence.
But I think that goes to show you how Pitt has kind of reinvented themselves at times this year with so many injuries. Now Bout, who had a nice look at it earlier, she'll feather that one a little wide of the Duke keeper. Not much that Ruthie Jones had to do there. There's Anna Bout, the senior.
Yeah, Bout's had a few on goal so far, or a few looks. I guess that one was wide of the goal.
Bout with 6 assists this season. The senior from Ontario also has a goal. Now maybe Pitt trying to pressure Jones a little bit, and nearly a giveaway again by Ruthie Jones. Very similar to what happened against Wake Forest on Thursday night for the Duke junior.
Yeah, I think on those goal kicks, Pitt's choosing that to be a moment to press the Duke Blue Devils.
So Jones, the senior, nearly gave it away again. Yeah, tremendous pressure, but nothing that Duke could do with it.
Yeah, and Karina Laguerre coming in the middle there. Coach Church talked about her versatility as a player. She can hop in that 6th position, the 10, or really anywhere up top as well.
I really liked the way she played that versatility on Thursday against Wake Forest. And, you know, Laguerre, another one of those rookies that maybe doesn't get the same headlines that perhaps Kat Rader does. But she's been really impactful for Duke in a variety of ways. Made her first career start earlier this year at TCU against the number 6 team in the country and matched the Blue Devils 1-3-1.
Yeah, and she actually came a little late into preseason along with Michelle Cooper. They both spent time with the U20 U.S. team.
I think we might get a card here against the Blue Devils. And we will for that takedown of the Pitt player. And for Duke, it's the 13th yellow card that's been issued to the Blue Devils. It goes to Emily Royson.
Yeah, Duke with almost double the yellow cards of Pitt. Pitt's got 6 on the season, and now we've got 13. We'll see the replay here.
Good call there.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a pretty good call. I think a late tackle, definitely not malicious, just a little mistiming.
So now Pitt looking for momentum in the final 14.5 minutes of the half into the box, and the offside flag is up there against the Panthers. It's the second time that offside flag has gone up against Pitt today. Through the middle now, settled, and Duke plays it back to Emily Royson. Here's Laguerre, the rookie we were speaking of a few moments ago. Royson trying to track this one down. Pace right there for Pitt.
It's good pressure by Pitt there.
Another throw in here for the Panthers. And Jones out to Spirit.
Great read by Jones there, showing her veteran abilities.
Jones, who's making her 54th consecutive start for the Blue Devils. 21 career shutouts, that's 5th all time in Duke history. It's allowed just 11 goals this season.
You can see Michelle Cooper dropping in a little deeper here. I think she's just trying to get on the ball. Having a little bit of trouble finding the forwards the last 5 minutes.
Rader trying to get, that's not Rader, beg your pardon, it was Watkins that trying to get free there for Duke, but unable to get anything on it. Watkins, who played some quality minutes for the Blue Devils against Wake Forest the other night.
Yeah, Gracie Watkins is someone who hasn't gotten on that score sheet yet this season, but that's not to say she doesn't bring a lot. She's kind of a bit of a super sub as well, brings great energy, is good on the ball. Be excited to see what she can bring for the Blue Devils today.
Kind of just need those players to bring those intangibles as the season goes along, don't you?
Definitely, definitely. And I think she will get on the score sheet soon here. She's definitely had a few close opportunities throughout the season. Pitt adding a little more pressure on the Blue Devils center backs, causing some turnovers.
Yeah, through the middle now, Watkins can't get there. That one's settled. We talked about how Duke had some success and maybe started to capture a little momentum, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes ago. Now it feels like Pitt is much more aggressive.
Oh, for sure. They're finding a lot of success in the flank areas. Davidson running in behind there, and Davidson coming and filling in for Moon, who actually just got hurt in the last UNC game. Not sure how long she'll be out for there, but Davidson nonetheless stepping up to the plate.
Davidson, who's had some experience, as Duke will sub in Devin Lynch here. Moon, the graduate student. Started 18 games, was third on the team last year, minutes played. So when you have someone like Davidson that's able to be inserted into your starting lineup, that's huge for this Pitt program.
Yeah, and Devin Lynch, who's actually mainly been playing the 6 for Duke, looks like she just came in and subbed up top. We'll see if there's some movement or if she'll stay there.
Lynch, who had her first career point against TCU in that win for Duke earlier in the season. Another one of those talented underclassmen for the Blue Devils. Playing in her rookie campaign.
Another set piece here for the Pitt Panthers.
That's their third set piece already. Fourth set piece already this afternoon.
Yeah, which we spoke about being a key to the game here. So Duke's, I'm sure, at halftime going to talk about tightening up the fouls in the final third and letting the ball go out for corner kicks.
About able to win the possession for Pitt. About tosses it in, now gets it right back. Lynch providing the pressure. And then Royson flicks it away.
Freshman Elle Piper on the ball there. She's been a good sub coming off the bench for the Blue Devils.
Do you feel like at this point, I mean, you've got a lot of freshmen in there for Duke right now when you look at Piper and Lynch and all the others. Do you feel like at this point in the season, when you've only got 4 matches left, your freshmen aren't really freshmen anymore? You almost treat them like a sophomore, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think that that line is a little gray for when you start to kind of turn the corner. Duke has a top 5 ranked freshman class that came in, and I think so many of them have stepped up, and with each game, to your point, I think they're playing more and more like they're not freshmen anymore.
Does it vary from player to player, probably more than just class to class?
Yeah, definitely. I think personnel-wise and also minutes. I mean, the more minutes you get, the more comfortable you are.
Senior Ashton Gordon to take this one for Pitt. Drives it toward Ruthie Jones, and she lets that one go wide.
Yeah, not a bad look. A 40-yard out strike that had some good pace on it.
You okay with that play from Pitt?
I mean, if she's got that ability, then I'm okay with it. It's always tough when it's a free kick in the middle of the field. I think services from the flank are a lot easier to get a good angle headed on goal.
Jones chips that one ahead. Cooper settles. Now for Lynch, and it's Graham who has it. And Duke forced to build again from the back. Final 8 minutes of this opening half, and what has been a really entertaining first half. Both sides have had some looks, but nobody able to come through yet. Manzarini, the keeper for Pitt, has probably been a little more busy than Ruthie Jones has been. But Pitt with more opportunities off the set pieces over the first half thus far.
Yeah. Pitt with 4 shots so far, and Duke with 2. It feels like they've been in the box a little more, but maybe just hasn't resulted in a shot.
Now, none of the Pitt shots have been on target yet,
right,
which is also important to point out. And Cooper, a hard play defensively there against Palomo.
Good defensive effort there by Cooper.
Cooper, who's used to being on the other end, dishing out a little physical play that time.
Good switch of ball by Pace there.
Played ahead for Bout. Draws a crowd. Pace obviously marked here for Pitt as that one sent ahead for Mellenhorst, but unable to find any room. And it's back to Jones and the Blue Devils. Give me maybe one key for each side as we look at the last 6.5 minutes of this first half to get it to intermission and what both these sides would like to do in the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think Pitt, they've had their set pieces. I think they got to capitalize on one of them. And from the Duke side, on that same point, they got to stop giving up those set pieces for Pitt. I think they've got to get to the half with zeros, and they've been in the box a few times. Good pressure here by the Duke Blue Devils.
About the other way for Pitt. Leaves one off for Shapansky. Nice footwork there by Shapansky. Tries to flick that one in.
Yeah, not a bad look.
No, nobody there, though, for Pitt. But not a bad idea.
Yeah, you know, Ben Waldrum spoke about letting the Duke Blue Devils have a little bit more of the possession. And I'd have to say Pitt's definitely having the ball. I think they're finding a lot of lines, or a lot of space in between the lines of the Duke Blue Devils.
A good play that time by Laguerre. And now Cooper's got it with some room. Cooper tries to play one ahead, and no foul was called there. Much to the chagrin of Robbie Church and the Blue Devils, as again, it was a great run by Watkins who went down.
Yeah, I'd like to see the replay on that one. I'm sure he's got a better angle than us up here.
Take a look as Cooper plays it ahead for Watkins.
I don't know about that one.
Got tangled up there with the Pitt defender, and no call was made from Stephen Foster, our referee this afternoon. Look at Pitt now continuing with the pressure. Jones surveys, and now Duke with a little over 4.5 minutes left in this opening half. Still plenty of time for both these clubs to build an attack.
Maggie Graham going down here. Looks like she might have some blood going on.
There's maybe perhaps a nosebleed there. Duke will have to get a sub in. Julia Burnell will check in for the Blue Devils. The senior from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania, had her first career goal, a game-winning goal against UNCG earlier this season.
Yeah, exciting moment for Julia Burnell. She's battled several injuries her first couple years, and as a senior getting her first goal.
Had a couple of ACL injuries before even getting to campus and has persevered and been really impactful in several different ways for Duke. Now the Blue Devils throwing it in here deep in their attacking third.
As the game's gone on, I think Pitt's become a little more disorganized. I'd like to see the Blue Devils take advantage of that space in front of their back line more.
Cooper trying to create some space. Royson now in the middle.
Good composure by Royson.
Gets it right back to Watkins. One of the few times today we've seen an opportunity on a set piece here for the Blue Devils. It's the first corner of the match for Duke. Watkins will have the service here for Duke. 57th corner kick for the Blue Devils. Most of their corners come in the second half. About 70% of them come in the final 45 minutes. As that one headed away. Watkins keeps it. And Pitt able to win it, preventing the corner for the moment, but a throw in for Duke quickly. Blue Devils want to try to pressure here in the last 2.5 minutes. Burnell settles. Now looking for Jones off her boot, and back away. Pitt again able to clear it.
Yeah, feeling like the Blue Devils could maybe get one here before the half.
I think Duke probably sensing the same thing you are, just with some momentum now. And Michelle Cooper. Cooper flares one ahead and another save.
Brilliant by Cooper. I love that she's testing Lazzarini.
And it doesn't take much space for Cooper to be able to find a way to get a shot off.
Yeah, tight turn there between two players. Got about 4 Pitt jerseys all chasing her in there.
But still found the daylight and a quality ball from Cooper. Now 100 seconds to go in the half. And Pitt with the possession. And if you're Pitt, you'll probably take 0-0 after 45 minutes. Obviously, would probably have liked to have had a better execution on a couple of the set pieces, but a Pitt team that gave up 4 goals to North Carolina just a couple of nights ago, you can certainly tell the Panthers have really honed in defensively against Duke this afternoon. Final minute of the half. Cooper. Laguerre. This way for Graham. 45 seconds to go. And that one into the corner. And the goal kick coming for Pitt, and the Panthers will be in no hurry here to play this one in the final half minute from Koskinen Stadium of our first half. The Waldron duo will no doubt be excited about their club's performance defensively in this first half. But Pitt hoping to capitalize in the second stanza and find a way to take advantage of some of those set piece opportunities. It'll be 0-0 at the end of one half. As these two top 25 teams battle scoreless after 45 minutes. What's your takeaway on the first game in the top of the ACC in terms of the assist category. Talk about the balance, not just in the league, but in this game in particular.
Yeah, seriously. And I think Duke and Pitt are both teams who like to keep the ball, like to be creative, and pass a lot more in the final third as maybe some other teams. So that's probably why you see a lot more assists in the current game today.
Yeah, I think both coaches, though, would like their teams to finish a little better in the final third, especially in the second half. That was one of the things Robbie Church, the Duke head coach, was joking with us about this week. Said against Wake Forest, they didn't maybe finish or shoot quite as much. So we look like Barcelona. We just need to go out there and shoot a little bit. And so I'm sure that's probably part of the message for Coach Church to his club at the break as we start the second half. I'm curious, you've been in those locker rooms and still are in those locker rooms. What do you think the message was from both of the coaching staffs? We'll start with Pitt, who had some opportunities on set pieces. What do you think that Coach Waldron wants to see from his group in this last 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think Coach Waldron's going to want more execution. I think defensively they've been very sound. They've limited the Blue Devil chances, and I think attacking-wise they've gotten those set pieces. They've gotten in behind. They just got to put in the back of the net.
On the flip side for Duke, I'm curious what you think Robbie Church's message is. Obviously, you've been in a lot of those locker rooms with Robbie Church over the years. Duke had a lot of opportunities in terms of the possession in the first half. Didn't have a lot of quality time with the possession, though.
Yeah, and I think the Blue Devils are often a pretty tactical team. I think the half times are spent working on and tweaking minor things here and there. I think the Blue Devils have had a bit too much space between their lines, and Pitt has honestly been quite successful at breaking through. So we'll see if Duke's able to tidy that up this half.
Yeah, so from a tactical standpoint, how do you tidy that up if you're Robbie Church and the rest of his staff going into the second half?
Yeah, I think the back line's got to get up and get their midfielders organized. You know, they play with 2-6s, Duke, so the 2-6s kind of help screen and protect that space. The two Royston sisters have got to keep them in check.
Nice run here for Pitt. This is Mertz, who had it ushered her side. Another set-piece opportunity coming for the Panthers. And Pitt, who had a couple of corners in the first half, will have another chance here very early in this second half. Ruthie Jones will be tested again.
Near side.
And it'll be Palomo who comes over to take this corner. We saw Shapansky be the one in the first half.
Looks like it'll still be an in-swinger, though.
Inside shoulder.
Palomo flicks it on, looking near post, and it's headed a little bit high. Not a bad idea there for Pitt. Got a great opportunity, and it was Pace again, the team's leading goal scorer, who had the header on it but was unable to get it on frame.
Yeah, I like that near post look there, trying to sneak it past Ruthie. Jones has got it covered, though.
Pitt still has the possession. They play it this way for Davidson, who we talked about in the first half, played some really quality minutes for Pittsburgh. Mellenhorst, and a foul called there against Duke.
Yeah, another set piece here. Caulfield steps up to take it.
You were really impressed by Caulfield the way she played in the first half.
Yeah, I am, and I think, you know, she also wears the captain's armband. I think she plays a leadership role as well, organizing the team.
Hand up here. Headed away by Cooper that time.
Yeah, and Duke often plays a super high line on those wide set pieces. Makes it pretty difficult for other teams to play in a ball. Out for a corner kick.
Yeah, another one for Pitt.
Yeah. Pitt's really putting the pressure on here at the beginning of the second half.
You think that's part of the message from the coaching staff to this team, was to come out and be the aggressive team to start the second half?
Yeah, I mean, and already a quick corner kick.
And nobody home there as the Blue Devils able to survive that opportunity from Pitt. Maybe not the best quality of looks there from the Panthers.
Yeah, and you spoke about the Panthers being a second half team. I'm sure Coach Waldron was, you know, using that storyline in the locker room, getting his squad going.
I thought it was interesting, one of the things that Robbie Church talked to us, and you see the numbers with Pitt and being more of the aggressor in terms of scoring goals in the second half. I think what was interesting, Robbie Church said, you know, as you look at Duke right now as a unit, they're a good defensive team, but not a great defensive team. And as you're aware, that's kind of become one of the hallmarks as they played ahead for Cooper, and Cooper couldn't quite get there. It's really been one of the hallmarks of this Duke team under Robbie Church the last several years, as being a really sound defensive club, but it seems like Duke has played pretty good defense today.
Yeah, they have. They've been sharp, and I think the best defense is having the best offense. If you have
Correct.
the ball, you don't have to defend as much. And Duke had a 63% of the possession last half, so they definitely had more of the ball.
Jones plays one in. The header right on there from Rader, but a nice save. Lanzarini comes up big again for the Panthers.
It's a brilliant half-space cross by Sophie Jones, and well done by Rader to get her head on it. Looking for that back post flick a little bit.
Rader has had 4 goals in her last 4 games, including the brace there. Jones goes down, and the foul there against Mellenhorst. And I don't think it was anything malicious, just got tangled up. And so Jones puts it in play again. Two-goal games for the Blue Devils this year. Cooper with a pair of them. Pluck and Rader also have braces this year for Duke. So the Blue Devils uber talented in terms of finding the one with the hot hand. Cooper with a strike going near post there. Michelle Cooper, just a small amount of space there. Had one on frame, but not able to drive it home, and no chance for a rebound there.
Already seeing some more chances this half than last half.
Jones goes down again. Boy, and a little more physical in the second half too, as Jones has taken a couple of those hard fouls. Groff. And nobody making a run there for Duke.
Yeah, it's not a bad look, but I also think the coaching staff would have liked more patience there. But I do see what Groff's looking for.
We talked about Pitt being a second half team. Obviously, Duke's been more efficient scoring in the first half this year, but Duke does have a couple of late wins, 2 goals in the 80th minute or later this year for the Blue Devils, wins at Tennessee and at Syracuse. Robbie Church joked with us earlier this year that he's too old for Duke to be playing in those kind of matches where they score in the 80th minute or later. I'm sure every coach would love, you know, a couple goals early, and you just play out the last few minutes and you win it.
Yep, wouldn't we all like that?
Absolutely. Maybe except for us, we like the drama up here.
Right.
Nice run here for Migley. Migley into the box, has room. Migley, and it's in!
Well done by Migley. That's one of those dangerous crosses that, you know, that's why you put it there. Your defenders are running back, facing their own goal. You just want a deflection that'll go in the back of the net. And the Blue Devils find their first, and Migley, as I spoke about earlier, her first goal of the season. I'm hoping they give it to her and don't call it an own goal.
They gave it to Migley.
All right. Yeah, you know, and I think if that doesn't go off the chest there, Rader was back post anyway, unmarked. Brilliant switch of play by Cooper to find Migley out wide. There was tons of space, and a good touch by Migley bringing her inside. We'll see if the Blue Devils can run off of this momentum now as they enter the final third again.
So Migley, who has had an assist in 3 of her last 4 games, finally strikes for her first goal of the season. It's her 11th career tally. And a 1-0 advantage for Duke in the early moments of this second half. And now for Pitt, down a goal. The Panthers have had so many opportunities. What changes for Pitt now as we march toward the finish line?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pitt's going to need to be a little more direct now. Behind 1 goal, obviously we've still got plenty of time in the half. I wouldn't press the panic button just yet.
By the way, Cooper, credited with the assist. on the Migley goal.
Yeah, happy she got that assist. It was a brilliant ball out wide.
It's the 6th assist of the season for Michelle Cooper. And Migley, who has been, as you mentioned, so close on so many occasions this year of finding the back of the net, able to drive one home there. With that assist now, Cooper with 54 points through her sophomore season. That's the most points through her sophomore year in Duke history. Shows you how dynamic Cooper has been, not just scoring goals, but also finding her teammates.
Yeah, and that's good company to be a part of there. Ellis Stevens out with the Chicago Red Stars has had a great season so far, and they're heading into playoffs starting next week.
How fun is it for you, obviously as someone who's playing at the next level as well, but to be able to play against some of your former teammates and see so many of your former teammates that are having so much success in their professional career?
Yeah, it's so much fun. I think there's 7 right now in the NWSL, so there's 12 teams in the NWSL, 7 have Duke girls on it. Makes it a lot of fun after the games and before games to kind of text back and forth. Always fun when you have a former teammate who then becomes your quote-unquote enemy.
Sure. Imagine it gets a little chippy there during the games too. You can talk a little smack back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
All in good fun though. Nice ball ahead. Rader plays it back now for Lynch. And a possession to Pitt.
Yeah, and I'm happy for Migley here. I think she's a little bit of a unsung, underrated hero for the team. Not as much on the stat sheet, but she's no doubt always putting in big-time tackles and great services. I think she's an electric player for the Blue Devils.
Had a couple of big goals for Duke last year in the NCAA tournament. And with her first strike this year to give Duke the lead in what is a crucial game in the ACC. One of these teams will keep pace with Florida State and remain just a game behind the Seminoles as we head into the stretch run of the ACC play. And remember, Duke still has a date. Actually, both these teams still have a date with Florida State remaining on their schedule. So an important matchup here as you look toward maybe trying to win a regular season ACC championship. You play for seeding, not just in the ACC tournament, but also in the NCAA tournament. Both these teams have solidified themselves as postseason clubs, but I think both clubs would love to have second and third round games and not have to travel in the NCAA tournament. You know how important it is to be able to play throughout the NCAA tournament at home until you get to the College Cup.
Oh, for sure, and I think on top of that comes the element of school. I mean, traveling, missing classes at that time of year when it's usually midterms, no doubt adds a little bit of stress for the players.
Move your feet, good. Good lift.
And it actually looks like Duke had a little bit of a formation shift coming out of the halftime talk. As we spoke about, Duke likes to address the tactics a lot in the locker room at halftime. Looks like they're reverting back to the 3-4-2-1 that they've had a little bit throughout the season, and they used all last year.
Which was really effective for Robbie Church's group last year.
Yeah, it was. And I was a part of the Blue Devil squad last year, and so I am a big fan of that formation. I had a lot of fun.
Into the box. Blue Devils just swarming to it defensively. And no space for Pitt. Panthers keep the possession, and Jones able to grab it. Jones has been solid for Duke again today.
Yeah, and it looks like Duke's just trying to slow the game down a little bit. See Jones is holding the ball in her hands a few more seconds than she was in the first half.
Too much direct pass that time, creates the turnover. Pace had it taken away. Now Rader plays it back. Taken away again by the Blue Devils. Duke searching for that 2-goal edge. Cooper on the wing.
Good patience by Duke.
Laguerre, that one knocked away at the top of the box. Jones keeps it. Duke still building here. Into the box, knocked away nicely by Gordon. And then Pitt able to get out of harm's way.
It was a good win by L. Piper, spurring the counterattack there for the Blue Devils.
Lacey, got draw. Come on.
This game was 0-0 at the break. Duke scoring in the first 7 minutes of this second half as Migley with her first of the season. And that's where we stand now, 15 minutes into this second half from Koskinen Stadium. Two clubs that are both 4-1 in league play. Pitt dropping their first ACC contest on Thursday at North Carolina. And Duke coming off that victory here over Wake Forest on Thursday, 2-1. After dropping a tough game to Virginia earlier in the week, and now Cooper through some traffic. No foul called there as Cooper gets tangled up, and then Cooper commits the foul that time on the Pitt player.
Yeah, I'm okay with that foul. I like the intensity of Cooper after she's lost the ball there to try to get it back.
Karina, drop it up back.
Caulfield, it's been great for Pitt today. Plays the ball ahead, looking for Mertz, but instead Migley right there, and nice job to wall off the Pitt player and win the goal kick for Ruthie Jones.
Yeah, good awareness by Migley.
So Mackenzie Pluck coming back in for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Pluck's a grad student for the Blue Devils, currently getting a master's at the Fuqua School of Business.
And Watkins going out for Duke. Watkins really gave Duke, I thought, some really quality minutes this afternoon. Pitt wins it.
Drop. Start across. Karina.
Royston's got to be careful there with that shove in the back on a yellow card.
Has to be a little more cautious defensive. Don't want to pick up that second yellow. Comes all the way back to Gordon.
Out of play, good pressure by Pluck.
Gordon, by the way, led Pitt in minutes played last year, over 1,500 minutes last season. Transfer from Arkansas, where she played in 28 matches over 2 seasons for the Razorbacks. Another one of those teams that's used to going deep in the NCAA tournament. And Pitt hoping to get deep in the NCAA tournament this year. A Panther team that has won 11 games for the 3rd consecutive season.
Yeah, and Gordon's also got one of those captain's armbands on. Looks like her and Caulfield work well together.
Defense needing to step up here for Pitt and try to generate some offense for a Panther team that has 5 shots yet, but no shots on goal. It's interesting, Duke has recorded 5 shots. As you see, 4 of Duke's 5 shots have been on goal today. Well, Pluck tried to get free with a nice play to step through, and look at Sophie Jones win it for the Blue Devils. Now looking for Cooper. Gordon again ushers it aside.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences here this half for the Blue Devils is their ability to counter press and their willingness to do it. I think they're, turning the ball over some, and that happens, but this half it looks like they're really relentless in winning it back right away.
It's part of the message from Robbie Church at halftime, be a little more relentless.
I am sure. If I had a dime for all the times I heard that from
and for
great
Pluck!
ball in.
And it's somehow scooped up by Pitt. Boy, Pluck and Lanzarini, the keeper, colliding there. Pluck nearly putting home her 4th of the season.
Yeah, let's see that replay here. Outside the foot from Michelle there. And Pluck just colliding with Lazzarini.
Looks like she tried to go out for the post there. And never would have got there. Nice play behind for Pitt as well, but Pluck a little unlucky that time.
I like that play by Duke. Great run by Pluck and good ball. Slip pass from Cooper.
Let's finish your thought. If you had a dime for every time Coach Church said what?
To be more relentless, I'd be a rich lady.
I'm sure it was exactly those terms that he used too.
Yeah, be more relentless.
Yeah. Nearly 20 minutes gone in our second half. Duke with a 1-goal advantage. Duke asking for the offside flag. It doesn't go up. Instead of one, this service through the middle and cleared out by the Blue Devils. Pluck has it now for Duke. A dangerous ball in by the Panthers.
Caulfield again to the rescue, but Michelle with that
fancy
relentless
footwork.
attitude.
Cooper drawing a crowd, trying to play one ahead for Pluck, but led her a bit too far.
I like it.
Yeah, and Gordon there to clean it up. Read that very well.
I'm in the center of the goal. Ooh, we have a big screenshot. Wait, this is the exact center of the goal.
Ahead for Mertz.
The stick
Now played back. Deflects off Migley. Bout tries to win it. And all Duke can do is knock it away. So Pitt, and they're attacking third now, has an opportunity. Davidson will toss it in. Second generation soccer player. Her dad, Paul, played at Southern Methodist. Tried to get it in for Pace, who's been the leading goal scorer for Pitt this year, came off the bench this afternoon. Now Caulfield ahead for Bout. Bout drives one on Jones, who's right there to clean it up.
Bout with another strike, another look at goal.
Another nice ball on target there by Pitt. Panthers, though, nothing to show for it this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that's their first shot on goal this game, actually.
Now Cooper with some space through the middle. Plays it ahead again, looking for Pluck, but another nice play. And then that one chipped a little too far for Cooper to try to get it, as Rader had the flare ahead for Duke.
Yeah, we spoke about that space in between Pitt's back line halftime. I think the formation shift for Duke's allowing their two attacking mids to kind of find that space. Cooper as well checking in.
Crowd wanting a foul. There it is against Pitt. Well, with that formation change, it's the tactical adjustment to the adjustment, right? So from the Pitt standpoint, Duke has made this adjustment. Now with 23 minutes to go down a goal, what's the adjustment like for Pitt down the stretch?
Yeah, it's that chess match that continues. I think Duke's getting more momentum. They're getting more numbers in the final third, and that's exactly where Pitt needs to exploit Duke on attacking transition here. You know, I think the Duke defense might fall asleep a little in possession. And that's where I think Pace, Mertz, all of them can look in behind.
Maybe Bout as well. She's had a couple of flicks on today.
Yeah, Bout's had a wonderful game so far.
A couple of subs for Duke. Maggie Graham is back in. So is her sister Delaney. A blow for Kat Rader. She will come off.
And we've got the sister duo back on the field.
Just like Piper coming off as well for Duke.
Two sets of sisters on this Blue Devil team. The Royson center backs, Jenna and Emily, and Delaney and Maggie Graham.
Imagine those make for some interesting conversations around the dinner table, especially around holidays. Trying to shake free is Graham. And maybe a bit of a push there, and there's the foul against Duke.
Yeah, Delaney Graham doesn't look too happy with that call.
As we mentioned earlier, Graham set the school record, making her 93rd career start today. Set the school record last time out against Wake Forest. Now she's second in program history in career minutes played, coming into action today. So she'll need to play another 200-300 minutes this year in order to set the school record, which no doubt she can do. But she's probably one of the few people around the college game that's upset that there's no more overtime in the regular season.
Yeah, maybe one of the only people.
Cooper in the middle. I mean, she could have put that record so far out of reach that nobody was ever going to touch it.
Yeah, and it's definitely changed the dynamic this year of college soccer, having no overtimes.
What a play that time by Migley, who's having a wonderful match. Migley's taken down, and now a yellow on Mertz.
Tactical foul there. Stop the Duke transition. I think that's a smart foul.
Mertz, who began her career at Dayton where she was an all A-10 selection. And it's been getting a little more physical in the second half.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mertz, whose brother played at Michigan. Throw in here for Duke. Approaching the final 20 minutes of this one. And you know the home-standing Blue Devils would love a second goal here to take the 2-goal advantage. Plug had it maybe deflected. Loose in the middle. They try to get it to Cooper. Instead, Groff keeps it alive for the moment. And it's one back to Royson, who has the reset things for Duke. Now Pluck. Oh, Pluck. Some great moves there. Sophie Jones plays it into the box. And now an opportunity for the Blue Devils. Oh, a miss from Karina Laguerre, trying to go top shelf.
Yeah, I love that little slip pass. I believe that was Maggie Graham. Freshman Karina Laguerre with her look on goal. First look of the game for her, I think.
We'll take another glance.
Yeah, it's a tough angle from there. I like her thought to try to go high near post.
Would have been the first career goal for Laguerre. A sub for Pitt, as you see there. Panthers maybe looking for a spark, looking for a combination that could create the equalizing goal. Fury, who just subbed in. Some fresh legs for the Panthers, and a foul there against Pitt. And I think the fresh leg part of it is an interesting component now. This is the third match of the week for Duke. You're in the last 19 minutes, you're up a goal. Pitt's only played the one other match this week, playing at North Carolina on Thursday. So I'm curious if you think maybe fatigue or the fresh legs of Pitt could play a factor in the last 19 minutes.
It definitely could. I think Duke's game management is going to need to be good here from Robbie Church and Kieran Hall on the sideline there. I think they're going to need to utilize the bench. They definitely did first half. We saw 5 subs come in. And you can see Duke is being more patient with the ball. I think Pitt, on the contrary, is going to need to add a little more pressure, not let them have so much time and space.
And too much run, or too much on that ball as Graham was on her run. Turnover. And Duke getting it right back, trying to play one for Cooper, and there's the tardy whistle, but the foul against Maggie Graham. And now Duke set up with a set piece opportunity.
Yeah, it was a good pressure on the ball by Maggie Graham. Sophie Jones steps up on it. Just a little jersey tug, it looks like.
What do you think the play is for Duke on this set piece here?
I think they got to be careful. This can't go in the keeper's hands because then you've got a transition going the other way.
Jones. Nobody could get ahead on it. Graham wins it back to Royson. Wedges it ahead. And the possession for Pitt.
Yeah, I think that's a good outcome for Duke there. Set pieces can always be a double-edged sword. You know, you've got your opportunity to score, but you got to think about how exposed you are to transition, which is obviously one of Pitt's strengths. Finding Caulfield in the midfield there.
Pitt's been dangerous on set pieces, not just today, but really all season long. But give Duke credit. They have been able to turn Pitt aside on some of those opportunities. Panthers have 4 corners this afternoon.
Yeah, I think Jones has been great in goal today, coming out and grabbing a few of those.
Jones, who came up big for Duke down the stretch of that match against Wake Forest on Thursday, had a bit of a giveaway that led to the only goal for Wake Forest in the contest. But then Jones, especially there in the last half minute, made a great save on a set piece opportunity for Wake that could have tied the match.
Yeah, it was a worldly save from Ruthie Jones.
A couple of times she really had to stand on her head in that match against Wake Forest, really faced some dynamic challenges from the Demon Deacons, and she has come up big. And it's one of the things Robbie Church talked about coming into the Pittsburgh match is, you know, after that giveaway, Jones didn't let it phase her.
Yeah, and that I think just comes from her experience. You know, she knows. And
Jones again, bumped, and that'll be a foul and a card. Just a warning, I think, for Pitt is Jones a bit shaken up, and there is the card against Samaya Fury. Second yellow this match, all coming this half against Pitt. Is it a good call there as Jones gets bumped?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's always important for the refs to protect the goalkeepers. That's a, yeah. Jones had the ball safely in her hands. I think it's a good call.
I think you make a good point about the experience by Jones, and perhaps for a younger keeper or someone who doesn't have the experience that Ruthie Jones has had at Duke, could have let that giveaway against Wake Forest spiral into the rest of the match and could carry over into today, but Jones has been very efficient for Duke.
Yeah, and I think it's that maturity to know mistakes happen, and especially on a Duke here with a counter-attack.
Cooper's got some help. Cooper playing it off for Graham. Maggie Graham lost it, some contact, and Gordon had it knocked out.
Yeah, but I think going back to Ruthie Jones, I think for a team that likes to build out of the back, you've got to take those risks, and with those risks sometimes, you know, can lead to a goal just like it did against Wake Forest.
Grace Watkins in for Michelle Cooper, giving Cooper a moment to take a breather. Watkins, who has played really high quality minutes for Duke, not just today, but really over the last couple of matches for Robbie Church's team.
Yep, like we spoke about first half, I think she brings great energy into the squad.
Pluck trying to win it.
I think as long as the scoreline stands, I bet we won't see Cooper back in this game. But in the event they need a goal, I'm sure they'll be calling her.
Now Pluck playing it out for Migley, who has the only goal today, and then the foul, and you can see the referee trying to calm things down. This one getting perhaps a little more physical for the referee's liking.
Yeah, getting a bit chippy. I think he's doing his best to keep it in check, giving some cards out.
So now what does Duke need to do on this set piece? Kind of the same thing as the last time, not let it get into the keeper's hand, or can you play it a little deeper?
Yeah, I mean, I think this ball should go back post. It's obviously hitting it in swinging, so you do have that risk of it going to the keeper's hands. And if it does, I mean, I think the back line's just got to deal with it.
Back post and a diving save. Graham might have been able to get just a touch on it there for Duke, but it's Lanzarini again who comes up big for Pitt.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if that was planned, that front post run from Graham, and Sophie Jones just putting the ball right there. It was a good look by Duke.
Four saves today for the Pitt keeper. And a bit unlucky on the one goal that Duke was able to score as it deflected off of a Pitt player. Migley got credit with the goal. We'll take another look at this set piece from Jones. There's also Royston, who was in the neighborhood there for Duke, trying to play one ahead. Graham too, and the save was made.
Another foul called.
Yeah, against Pitt, a team that, and you can see Pitt wanting to be a little more aggressive, but isn't there a fine line about being aggressive but also not fouling?
Yeah. I mean, each foul here is just killing the clock for them. I think it's taken about 15 seconds on each restart.
Obviously, if you're Pitt, you have to have the possession, and that's something they've not had a lot of over the last several minutes of this half. But now down to the last 12 minutes of this match. Once you win the possession, how do you get something going to try to counter what the Blue Devils are doing here as Duke plays one through, nobody home, and it's turned away by the Panthers.
Good run by Watkins in behind. Yeah, I think Duke has had longer established possessions this half.
Watkins again. Now Pluck, and she just missed.
Trying to sneak it in front post there, Pluck.
Another look here as Duke nearly got that second goal. Is that one that Pluck wants to have back?
Oh yeah, I think that's a good look. It's just unlucky, honestly.
We see Mertz back in for the Panthers for the stretch run of this one. Mertz, who's been another dynamic goal scorer for Pitt with 6 goals this season. So it seems like the Panthers are really making that final push here in the last 11 minutes to find the equalizer.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be curious to see if they start throwing more numbers forward as well. Obviously, they're trying to get their highest goal scorers in the game. Pace still out there.
And now Mertz, who maybe has to be a little more cautious with that 1 yellow. But Duke has really made life tough on Pitt, not letting them establish a lengthy possession here over the last several minutes. And nice step through again by Duke. Jones plays it for Graham. And it's worked back to Ruthie Jones. And again, Duke with the possession. Duke has never lost to Pitt. 6-0 all time against the Panthers, including a 4-0 mark here in Durham. And this would be another quality result for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and if the Pittsburgh Panthers are able to tie this up or even go ahead, this will be their first win over Duke. They've had 2 first wins this season over Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. First time in program history they've beaten those 2 schools.
Quality win over a ranked Notre Dame team. Advantage called here. Watkins leaving it off, and Graham unable to capitalize, and now Graham with the bump and is called for the foul.
Unlucky there. We're coming into the last 10 minutes of the half here, so we'll see if the Panthers have got a goal in them.
One of the things the coaching staff talked to us about coming into this game for Pitt was didn't think they were super competitive or maybe handled the environment in Chapel Hill all that well on Thursday. Seems like a much different Pitt team today.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little loss to shake things up, wake you back up after having, they were on a 5-game winning streak, I believe, before that.
Pitt with a bit of a last-ditch effort here, 9 minutes to go. Still time for the Panthers to have the possession. Fury trying to usher aside a couple of defenders. Now some room for Bout. Playing one in for Fury. Can she get there? And that one bangs up against the goal, and Duke wins it.
It's a good run by Fury. Wonderful ball there as well. I believe it was Bout.
It was.
Yeah, Bout's definitely contending for player of the match on Pitt's side.
And Fury, the Oklahoma State transfer, was 4th on the team with 6 points last year, has 7 points for the Panthers in her sophomore season. Has been big for Pitt over the last couple moments, but now time not the ally of Pitt with 8 minutes to go.
You think Pitt's got a goal in them?
Man, they've been dynamic this year. They've been a second half team as well. Outscored their opponents 26-4 in the second half this season. Kept in by the Panthers.
Get out, Lip! Get out!
And a nice play by Migley, but Pitt has the throw in deep in their attacking third.
Good!
And again, it's Duku and Migley who toss it aside. Shapansky, and never really challenged Ruthie Jones there.
Sup.
That may be a play that's a little bit too aggressive for Pitt in that situation.
Go in the midfield. Go,
Yeah, I mean, I think
Katie in the midfield.
under 10 minutes left, they just want to get shots on goal. I agree they should have been more patient for sure.
Delaney, outside
Cooper back in the game, so I was wrong.
Sophie's in the middle. Imagine it.
Well, there goes your perfect game.
Never getting asked to do this again.
Clock the ally of Duke as Jones takes her time before putting it in play on the restart. And now Pitt maybe trying to commit more forward here. Down a goal. Mertz. And a bit of frustration by Mertz, unable to handle that one.
Yeah, I think these next 6 minutes are going to be what sets apart a good Duke team from a great Duke team. If they can stay defensively sound, hold on to that clean sheet.
Now Mertz, ball in. Oh, bit of a pirouette there in front. And Jones will track it down. But a nice run by Shapansky, who nearly was able to get a flick on it. And if she can get anything on it, would have been a great opportunity for the Panthers.
Yeah, it was a good ball in. I think they're missing a back post runner there.
This is what the Duke head coach Robbie Church told us, is that he knows that now all these teams that Duke plays down the stretch are going to be looking for that quality win. And these are the type of games you have to win if you want to make a deep run into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Their next game up against FSU at FSU.
Which is always a tough place to play. Florida State unbeaten in the league so far.
Yep.
Pitt trying to equalize it in the last 5 minutes. Davidson. Now it's reversed. Settled by Dean. And another save by Jones, who will utilize some more clock here. Olivia Migley is the reason the Blue Devils have the lead today. It was the first of the season for Migley. After the game was 0-0 at the break, Migley with this goal, which has been the difference so far.
Yeah, Migley's Duke's player of the match for me today.
Now deflecting off the Panther, and the Blue Devils able to drive it home, and so far it's been able to hold up for Duke. Duke has outshot Pitt 9-7 today, and shots on goal also favoring the homestanding Blue Devils 5-2. And Migley couldn't keep that one in.
Yeah, it's a tough one to deal with right there.
It's a tough ball right at you. 4 minutes to go. Theory bumped by Pluck. Nobody home for the Panthers, and Duke just content to dump it down and force Pitt to build again.
Today's game for Duke is their Morgan's Message game. Tomorrow is World Mental Health Day. They've got a patch on their, I believe it was their warm-ups, and then they're wearing the white shorts as a tribute to Katie's save.
Helping to increase the conversation around mental health and the stigma around mental health. Another great cause supported by the Blue Devil bunch. Final 3.5 minutes for Pitt here. Panthers trying to find the equalizer and desperate to do so. But they've really not had any quality chances here against Ruthie Jones, and a nice play there by Royson.
Yeah, 2 shots on goal, and both of them came right to Jones's chest.
Who does Pitt look to now in the last 3 minutes to try to be the person that capitalizes and finds the back of the net?
Yeah, I mean, I think pace is probably too obvious of an answer here. She's their leading goal scorer. They've obviously also got Mertz. Both of them having
Well, that's headed just high. The rebound, another save by Jones.
And the crossbar is Duke's best friend today.
Unbelievable. Pitt that close to tying it up And the Panthers with the quick throw in. Another look. It was Mertz who had the header, and then Jones might have just got a flick on it as it hit the crossbar.
Yeah, Mertz and Fury both with cracks at it there. Unlucky for the Panthers.
That was their best opportunity of the match. Now Cooper battling with the Pitt defender. Final 100 seconds.
Good read by Emily Royce in there.
Does Pitt have time for another build?
I think they do. We've got 90 seconds left. Let's see what they can do.
Looking for Bout, but it's Graham who steps through. Jones trying to collect. Chipped ahead. Nobody home.
Good read by Migley.
Now Gordon forced to play it back. Ooh, a dangerous ball there.
Well dealt with by Lazzarini.
And headsy play by Groff. Cooper keeps it alive. And Duke really no intention of going toward the goal here, just using the clock as their ally as we approach the final half minute at Koskinen Stadium. And Duke wins the corner, their second corner of the match. But you can see the Blue Devils just wanting to chew up the last 15 seconds. And now the match, the clock stopped as Duke slow playing it a bit.
Yeah, good game management here by Duke. Perhaps not 2 minutes ago, though, with that 2 crossbar headers.
And now the final 8 seconds, it's played back, and the Blue Devils chip it away and will preserve another home victory. The Blue Devils have their 10th win for the 3rd consecutive season, and now 7 times in the last 8 seasons, the Blue Devils have won 10 or more. It's the 16th time under Robbie Church. Duke has won 10 matches in a year, and they fight off a very pesky Pitt club this afternoon.
Yeah, this was a fantastic game, a good top 25 matchup. Pitt will no doubt continue to get results the rest of the season here, and I'm excited for them to get that one more win so they set their own record.